Greetings. This is Joel Cheesman, editor at Recruiting Daily, here with our resident sourcer, Dean Da Costa. We're looking at tools today. Today we're looking at Clearbit. Dean, are you there?
Yes, I'm here,
All
ready
right.
to rock.
Take it away, my man. Let's hear about Clearbit.
All right, Clearbit is a multifaceted tool that works in a lot of different ways. Some of the things it does is finding info on people. Some of it is actually sourcing and finding people. Some of it's competitive intelligence. It just does a lot. So we're going to start, this is the homepage. Now, I've already got an account, and so I would go to my dashboard, which is this. And as you can see here, it looks at my usage. Don't let this fool you into thinking I don't use a lot. I actually do use a lot, but I'm not always using it, this part of it, so therefore the usage doesn't always tell you everything I've done.
Right.
What you need to pay attention to is down here where it says enrichment, discovery, prospector, watch list, and reveal. Those are the 4 or 5 components of Clearbit and the different things it can do. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to actually take you to Clearbit, which works within Gmail. So there's a Chrome extension here that works within Gmail, and that's right here. Clearbit sits right there. Now I'm going to press it, and I'm going to say, see it says find email, verify account, account settings, all that. We're going to just find an email. And as you can see, it opens up a sub page. Now, this is one way you can use it. Another way you can use it is by going directly to the prospector page, which is basically this right here. You see where it says prospector here, and you go to lookup, that's what you're getting. And the only difference is I have it, a direct link to it to make it simpler on me. So either way you work it, it does the same thing. In this case, I've already decided I want Google. So I'm going to open it up, and it's looking for people that work at Google. And as you can see, it came up with quite a few. But you see, I want something specific. In this case, I'm going to put in the word brand, and actually maybe even branding. And that's because it's a conversation that Joel and I had. And there we go. These are, not all of them, but these are a large number, 15 to 20 of the people that are at Google that have the title branding somewhere in their profile. In this case, industry head branding. So let's look at Marina Guda,
Do you know what
unknown
do you
email.
know what Clearbit is accessing to get that information?
Clearbit is accessing a multitude of things. It is accessing LinkedIn, of course, to a point, but it's also acting Facebook. It's basically going out there in the social sphere and in the open web sphere looking for information about Google, and then bringing that information. It's going to the Google site and tearing it apart, and then bringing you other information.
Okay, great.
So that's where it's going. So let's try Stuart Stansberry's industry manager, branding. Good, that works. So what it's doing now is trying to find a little more information about Stuart Stansberry. Now, it won't find it about everybody, but it does a decent job of finding about most. Now, in this case, we got his work email, where he's located. It's in London, and we got his LinkedIn profile, which now means I can check on his LinkedIn profile and get there. But at this point, for me anyway, if I'm looking for a branding person and I need them in London, England, I really don't give a flip because I have what I need. If they're a branding person working for Google, they're probably going to work for most internet companies, because let's get real, everybody wants, steal from Google. And we already got their work email, and if you're afraid to contact someone via their work email, then something's drastically wrong with you.
Right.
And I've got his LinkedIn profile. So let's say I decide I want to look at his LinkedIn profile. I can. I'll go in there and I'll look at it. And this is the information I got. Now, there are other tools that can get me even more, but this is what this particular tool, and I'm actually getting out of it now, can do for us. And like I said, if you notice, I'm going to close this. I've actually got the same thing here, but this is going direct link to them, which will give me the same information. I'm not going to search on it though, because we've already done it. And then if I'm in the site itself, of course, the lookup function is right there, and you can do the same thing from here. Some of the APIs, integrity, and all that. You can enter email, domain, and it'll do what you want to do. Prospect is right there, discovery is right there, all that good stuff. Now, some people would say, wow, that's a lot. This tool does a lot of great stuff. But here's the bad part, or the good part, depending on your point of view. There's more. If you go ahead and you have Google Sheets, Google Sheets is a great Excel type of tool, but unlike Excel, but it can do more. Specifically, it functions like Chrome. There's add-ons that can really do more of the things that you want to be able to do within it, things that you can't do in other places. So as an example, I'm coming down here. It says copy of emails, company list, Clearbit. Now I'm going to open it. I'm not going to actually run it because it will take time. I'm just going to just show it to you. So here's what I did. I put in company's emails, I mean company domain, and it came back with all this plethora of information about these companies. Everything you could ask for. So here's the competitive intelligence side. Look at all that plethora of information,
Wow.
Twitter handles, Facebook handles, locations, populations, everything on these companies.
Blood
Now
type.
that's, well, not quite.
All right.
But that's one thing. But now that's one thing because that was the company stuff. Now we're going to do something even more interesting. Let's say you've got a bunch of emails and you want more information about them. We're going to go here to this particular tool, and this is also done via Block Spring, and it's also, oh, actually, let me get out of this because this particular one didn't do what I want to do. What I'm going to do is go back in and we're going to go into Clearbit itself, the add-on, to show you what I want to do. So we're going to go ahead and wait for this to open a new one to blank. We're going to come up here to add-ons as soon as it loads. The only downside, this is, it does take a little time to load sometimes. And you're going to notice all these add-ons. You're going to notice one right there is Clearbit. And we're going to open that Clearbit one. And Clearbit's going to open over here as an add-on, and it says Discovery Prospector Enrichment. It's the same thing I did before in Gmail and everything, but you can do it here. And it does the same thing. The only big difference is you're not as limited here. Here you'll get more results. Instead of only getting 15 or 20, you'll get 30, 40, 50, whatever. As you can see, for the company stuff, you could search into all these categories. For prospect, you could search for role, seniority, and for enrichment, you can go ahead and do it by email. Now, what is enrichment? Basically, that means you put in an email address and it'll go out and try to find you more information on that person. And it'll find you Facebook pages, LinkedIn pages, gravatars, everything. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you an example of how that works. But to do it, I'm going to use a specific tool that works with Clearbit called BlockSpring, and we're going to use a template that they've already created to work with Clearbit. BlockSpring's a tool that allows you to use APIs without knowing how to program, and of course, Clearbit has an API. So you see these two here. One of them is for Clearbit, and we're going to open and see and make sure we got the right one. Yep, this is the one. And as you can see, this is what happens. I don't even need to do anything more. In fact, I will download the template just so you can see it better. But what it does, I gotta wait till it's on here. We're gonna make a copy. And this is how you save it into your Google Sheets here. And basically what it'll do is this. You put in an email and it goes out and does all this other thing. It'll verify your email. It'll get you the person's full name. It'll tell you another email for them. It'll tell you where they're located. It'll tell you their longitude, their latitude. It'll tell you if LinkedIn pages, if there is, if there's Facebook, you see Facebook's up, Twitter's right there. If they can find Twitter, GitHub's over there. If they can find something on from GitHub, all this information is what they go out and find for you. And that's another aspect of what Clearbit can do. If you have the email, you can go out and find more. Let's say you don't like contacting people at work. Fine, stick it in here. Let them see if they can find a personal email for you. Odds are it can. It's really accurate and does a really good job. Now, you notice I did save that. And if I open up my Google Sheets again, you're going to see that that particular sheet's been saved right there.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have two of them. You have one for full contact, and this is the one for Clearbit. So that's everything that Clearbit can do for you, which is mind-boggling how much it can do. I'm still playing with it and learning and finding new things that it can do because every time I turn around, there's something new it does, and they're making it better constantly.
Is this a
The other thing,
relatively new tool in your arsenal? Have they startup?
well,
Or?
for me, it's not, but it's been around about a year.
Okay, so relatively new
Yeah,
service.
relatively new. Now, the other part of it is obviously it says find email. This is the part where you basically, it'll just find emails for you. It doesn't find any other info, just emails. And the other thing it'll do is if you have an email that's already in, say, and this is in Gmail, and Gmail, and let's see, you see this info right here?
Mm-hmm.
That's all coming from, that actually isn't coming from Clearbit. That's coming from a div tool, but this is Clearbit. Look what Clearbit brings to you. All this stuff about Stacy Zapper, as well, and then other people that are involved in this conversation. It brings it right to you.
Stacy will love that we've featured her in this video, by the way.
Oh yes, there's a reason I've left that there. Stacy owes me. We're good. Stacy and I are buddies. Stacy and I are buddies. She won't mind. So, yep. So that's everything that this particular tool can do for you, and it's just mind-boggling how much it does for you. Just a great tool, and that's really about it for this particular tool.
Great. Talk about cost. Is there a fee for this service and how much? Or
There is and there isn't. So it depends on what features you're using. For the Chrome extension and everything it works with, which is what it does here and this stuff, there's no fee. For using it within Blockspring, there's no fee. For using it directly on their site, then yes, there's a fee. So let me get into pricing here. So enrichment 0 month, discovery 0 month. So it really depends. Right now, as you can see, they're set up to have fees. They're set up to have fees, but they don't yet, but they will at some point in time. I can tell you their plan is to always have a limited free. So 500 a month,
yeah.
you think, wow, that's a lot. No, it's really not.
So if you move that up a
Here's
little bit, does it start? Okay, 50 a month. So let's close the.
Well, down here you see Close.io is 50 a month. Once you start changing what you're willing to do, yeah, see 5,000 a month is
Okay.
there's where you start getting your costs in, and that's understandable. They have to justify something, but 500 a month, to be quite honest with you, is actually I think it was 500 is what the number was. That was still free.
And you being
That's actually a
you
decent amount.
you being a pretty heavy user,
I have
where do
never
you think your money, or where would your pricing be on your usage?
To be honest with you, I've had no problem with the 500 a month because to be quite honest, here's the deal. If I use the tool to do like I just did here, look for branding people, I got 20 branding people out of it. How many freaking branding people do I really need? I mean, do you need 500 branding people?
Right.
No. If you get 20 or 30, you're good because you'll contact them. Some of them won't be interested, but they might know people that are, so you'll get referrals. Some of them will be interested, plus give you referrals, and some will just be interested. So how many do you know? It's kind of like these people say, well, I got 500 results in my search string. Really? You're going to contact all 500? Well, no. I go, exactly. So do you really need 500?
All right. Great. Well, this is definitely a tool that we should keep our eye on, and appreciate the time to show it to us, Dean.
Not a problem at all.